Assalamu alaikum. Let's continue our chapter on destroying books that we started in our previous lecture. Let's move towards the happening that once happened with J.C. Squire. He is relating this event in a very interesting manner to his readers. थोड़ा सा उसको दोबारा से रिमाइंड करते हैं कि उसने अपनी बुक्स के साथ क्या किया था. He improvised a sack and stuffed those books in his sack and started off. It was really nearly midnight as I stepped into the streets. There was a cold nip in the air. The sky was full of stars, and the greenish yellow lamps threw long gleam across the smooth hard road. स्टूडेंट्स देखें कि वो किस तरह से माइन्यूट डिटेल्स आपको बता रहा है. नॉट ओनली द एटमॉस्फेयर but also the feelings that are very much clear in his writing when he talks about the nip in the air, cold nip in the air. Nip means a chill bite. This was in fact his feeling about his wrongdoing that he was going to commit, and about the views around, how it was looking at that time of the night. Greenish yellow lamps were throwing their long gleams, रोशनी की शुआएं across the smooth and hard road. Few people were about, and here and there rang out the steps of solitary travellers on the way home across the bridge of Battersea. So because it was the midnight time, so obviously there must be very few people around, and only those people who were going back to their homes, they could be seen at that time. I turned up my overcoat collar, settled my sack comfortably across my shoulders, and strode off towards the little square glow of the coffee stall which marked the near end of the bridge. Now let's see कि बच्चों उसने क्या किया कि उसने अपने ओवरकोट कॉलर, यू कैन जस्ट इमेजिन व्हाट टाइप ऑफ कोट इट इज़, कि अमूमन जैसे डिटेक्टिव जैसे कोट पहनते हैं, और साथ ही उसने ये किया कि अपने कॉलर को टर्न कर लिया, ऊपर को सीधा खड़ा कर लिया, और फिर उसके ऊपर बड़े कंफर्टेबल वे में उसने अपने उस सैक को सेटल डाउन किया, एंड देन ही स्टार्टेड ऑफ towards the bridge. And there was a coffee stall square that could be seen from that distance, whose sweeping iron girders were just visible against the sky behind. A few doors down I passed a policeman who was flashing his lantern on the catches of the basement windows. Because it was the midnight time, there was a policeman who was on his duty, having a flashlight in his hands, and he was casting the light of that flash on the catches of the basement windows. He turned. I fancied he looked suspicious, and I trembled slightly. I thought he looked suspicious because he was going to do something wrong, and this was his own idea that he was suspecting him, and with this idea he trembled. The thought occurred to me, perhaps he suspects I have swag in this sack. Swag, stolen things. I was not seriously disturbed, as I knew that I could bear investigation, and that nobody would be suspected of having stolen such goods. They were all first editions, as I was carrying. He was a little confident about the situation because he could bear the investigation. अगर वो पुलिस वाला उसको रोक भी लेता और उससे इन्वेस्टिगेशन भी करता, तो ऑब्वियसली वो उस इन्वेस्टिगेशन को फेस कर सकता था, because there was nothing so much precious in that sack. Nevertheless, I couldn't help slight unease which comes to all who were eyed suspiciously by the police, and to all who are detected in any deliberately furtive act. Deliberately furtive act. He says that obviously we are disturbed about being suspicious or being suspected, especially by the policemen, and especially those people who have something secret. Furtive act means some secret act, however harmless. However, obviously this was an harmless act. He acquitted me apparently, and with a step that making an effort I prevented from going more rapid. I walked on until I reached the embankment. In a very interesting manner, he says that he didn't take notice of me, acquitted me, he left me apparently, and in spite of that he says that I couldn't prevent myself from going more rapid, कि जैसे ही वो पुलिसमैन उसके पास से गुजरता है तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली तेज़ तेज़ चलने लगता है. And then he says that I walked on and I reached the river embankment. It was then that all the implications of the act revealed themselves. He says that he hadn't thinking about the implications or some things that could happen, he says, but at that time all those implications became very clearly to me, to my mind. I leaned against the parapet and looked down into the faintly luminous swirls of the river. I bent down against the parapet. उसके किनारे के ऊपर से वो जो भी कोई वहाँ पे उन्होंने दीवार वगैरह थी उस पुल के ऊपर, उसके ऊपर से वो नीचे देखता है. और obviously because it is the night time and in spite of the lights around, he could have only the idea of faintly luminous swirls of the river. दरिया का पानी रात के टाइम में उस वक्त बिल्कुल ही हल्का सा उसके स्वर्ल्स, उसके जो भंवर हैं छोटे छोटे बन रहे थे पानी के, वो उसको बहुत ही अनक्लियर नज़र आ रहे थे. Suddenly I heard a step near me. Quite automatically I sprang back from the wall and began walking on with I fervently hoped an air of rumination, of unconcern. He wasn't a thief, he wasn't a murderer. In spite of that, he wasn't doing something or acting something very horrible thing. In spite of that, जैसे ही उसे पीछे से स्टेप्स की आवाज़ सुनाई देती है तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली वहाँ से पीछे हटता है और ऐसे चलने लगता है कि जैसे उसे तो कुछ पता ही नहीं है कि क्या हो रहा है. An air of rumination, air से मुराद यहाँ पे है with an impression. Rumination, as he was thinking something, he was in a deep thinking. And unconcerned, he wasn't concerned with the river at all. The pedestrian came by me without looking at me. It was a tramp who had other things to think about. And calling me an ass, I stopped again. He was a tramp. वो कहता है कि वो कदम उठते हुए मेरे जो पीछे सुनाई दे रहे थे वो कोई आवारागर्द शख्स था. He was a vagabond. He had other things to think about, not me. So I stopped again. Now for it, I thought. But just as I was preparing to cast my books upon the waters, I heard another step. कि जैसे ही वो अपने आप को रेडी करता है वो सैक उठा के पानी में फेंकने के लिए, तो उसी लम्हे उसे एक और स्टेप की आवाज़ सुनाई देती है. A slow and measured one. This step was not like that which was the previous one. It was more slow and measured one. जैसे कोई बहुत आहिस्ता आहिस्ता कदम रख के किसी का पीछा करता है. The next thought came like a blaze of terrible blue lightning across my brain. अब जो next thought थी ना वो उसको डराने के लिए काफ़ी थी। एंड इट वॉज जस्ट लाइक अ ब्लेज ऑफ टेरिबल ब्लू लाइटनिंग, जैसे कोई एक चमक सी या एक अवेयरनेस की फीलिंग एकदम से दिमाग में आती है। व्हाट अबाउट द स्प्लैश? बुक्स तो वो फेंक देगा, वो सैक वो फेंक देगा अंदर, लेकिन उस पानी की आवाज़ का क्या होगा? अ मैन लीनिंग एट मिडनाइट over the embankment wall, a sudden fling of his arms, a great splash in the water. Fling of his arms के उसके बाजुओं का ऊपर उठना, a great splash of in the water, और उसके साथ ही पानी में ने एक ज़बरदस्त छपाका. Surely, and not without reason, whoever was within sight and hearing, and there always seemed to be someone near. हमेशा ऐसा होता है कि ऐसे मौक़ों पे कोई ना कोई नज़दीक से ही निकल आता है. वुड एट वंस रश एट मी एंड सीज मी. ये उसको फीलिंग, अब एकदम से ये ख्याल आया ना कि फ़ौरी तौर पे एकदम से इधर उधर से निकल के कोई आएगा जो मुझे मेरे बाजुओं की फ्लिंग को देखेगा, मेरे बाजुओं को ऊपर उठता हुआ देखेगा, उस सैक को नीचे जाता हुआ देखेगा, और अगर ना भी देखे तो उस पानी की आवाज़ को सुनेगा. एंड देन ही विल सीज मी, कैच मी, मुझे पकड़ लेगा. इन ऑल प्रोबेबिलिटी दैट वुड थिंक इट वॉज अ बेबी. Obviously, such things, such sort of facts or such sort of sacks are having the dead bodies in it. What on earth would be the good of telling a London constable that I had come out into the cold and come down alone to the river, get rid of the packet of poetry? No policeman will believe in that I had come in such a cold weather and alone in the midnight to the river just to get rid of my books of poetry. I could almost bear his gruff, sneering laugh. He says that he is just imagining about it, that if a policeman comes and investigates me, he will gruff in a very deep and harsh manner, in a very hateful way. He will laugh at me, and you tell that to a Marines, my son. कि इस किस्म के झूठ किसी और को बताओ, जाकर बेवकूफ़ों को बताओ इस किस्म की बातें. I am not here to believe in you. So far, I don't know how long I strayed up and down, increasingly fearful, being watched, summoning up my courage to take the plunge, and quailing from it at the last moment. To take the plunge and quailing from it. These are two expressions that are showing his act, that he had been there for a long time. कि कितनी देर वो वहाँ पे फिरता रहा, अप एंड डाउन चलता फिरता रहा, और इंक्रीजिंग fearful ऑफ बीइंग वॉच्ड, कि कभी उसके ऊपर खौफ हावी हो जाता था और कभी वो एकदम से करेज पकड़ता था. he summoned up his whole courage to take the plunge, to did it, and then just quelling from it, just getting back of his act at the last moment. At last I did it. In the middle of the Chelsea Bridge, there are projecting circular bays with seats in them. So what type of this is that type of bridge which is made of iron, a heavy structure of iron, and there are seats with the circular bays. There are seats in them. In my agony of decision, I left the embankment and hastened straight for the first of these. कि वो ये डिसीजन करते हुए he left that embankment and just went straight to first of these seats that were made there, and I reached it. I knelt on the seat. Looking over, I hesitated again. वहाँ से वो उस पानी के ऊपर से देखता है, फिर हेजिटेट करता है. बट आई हैड रीच द टर्निंग पॉइंट, taking some decision, do it or not. What? I thought savagely. Under the resolute mask that you show your friends, is there a really shrinking and contemptible coward? He is rebuking himself by such thought, and he is taking himself by the collar, in fact, by rebuking himself. That is this such a coward face under the mask of a very courageous person that you show to your friends? If you fall now, you must never hold your head up again. Anyhow, what if you are hanged for it? क्या हो जाएगा ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा? तुम्हें हैंग कर दिया जाएगा. Good God, you worm, you very cheap person. Better men than you have gone to the gallows. Gone to the gallows are hanged. तुमसे बेहतर लोगों को फांसी के फंदे तक पहुंचा दिया गया. What you are? With the courage of despair I took a heave. वो फिर से थोड़ी सी अपनी हिम्मत को जमा करता है. With the courage of despair, very interesting expression. Courage of despair. अपने आप को वो बहुत मजबूर करके आगे बढ़ाता है इस जुर्रत को करने के लिए. The sack dropped here, a vast splash, then silence fell again. No one came. I turned home, and as I walked through the little, thought a little sadly of all those books falling into the cold torrent, settling down, slowly down through the pitchy dark, and subsiding at last on the ooze of the bottom, there to lie forlorn and forgotten, whilst the unconscious world of men went on. In a very sensitive manner, he is talking at the last this last time passage, or this last part of his writing. He says, at last I did it. आखिरकार उसने क्या किया कि वो उठाया और फेंक दिया. बहुत बड़ा झपाका हुआ, फिर दोबारा खामोशी हो गई, कोई नहीं आया. मैं घर वापस आ गया. बट दिस टाइम आई वॉज फीलिंग वेरी सैड अबाउट दोज बुक्स, जो अब तक तो उस ठंडे पानी के टॉरेंट्स के अंदर, लहरों के अंदर आहिस्ता आहिस्ता नीचे पिची डार्क उसकी जो बॉटम है वहाँ पे सेटल डाउन हो चुकी होंगी. And they will stay there forever in an isolation, whereas the men in this world of ours will never know about their destination or their fate. Horrible. The last paragraph is very interesting. He is now remembering in a very nostalgic way, or in fact he is talking about those books he is feeling sorry for. Horrible bad books, poor innocent books. You are lying there still motionless, covered still, or there it may be meant that still till now, covered perhaps with mud by this time. Till now you must be covered by the mud, with only a stray rag of your sacking sticking out of the slime into the opaque brown tides. Odes to Diana, sonnets to Ethel, dramas on the love of Lancelot, stanzas on the first glimpse of Venus. These are all the names, all the titles of those books that were lying in the at the bottom of the river. Obviously, he is feeling sorry about those books. कि शायद अब तक तो मट्टी भी तुम्हारे ऊपर आ गई होगी. इस वक्त तक शायद तुम मट्टी में दब चुकी होंगी और तुम्हारे ऊपर जो बोरी का सिर्फ फटा हुआ एक चीथड़ा गारे से भरा पड़ा होगा. Dear poor books. And then he mentioned some names of those. You lie there in a living death, and your fate is perhaps worse than you deserved. Obviously, this must not have been your fate to be thrown into the river like that, but you are lying there, and there was no way out for me. So that's all, girls. Read it, and we'll talk in our next lecture about the questions and synonyms that may be asked in your question paper. Thank you.